Hey, man, big win tonight. Big win. It wasn't a pretty win. It was an ugly win.
Hideous.
It was an
Looked
ugly little win.
like your evil stepmother.
It's okay, though. A win's a win in this
Man.
league. A win's a win.
It's 5 in a row. It's hard to be mad at 5 in a row, right? It really is.
Right.
That I'm 5-1. Like I said, hard to be mad at it. But good Lord, man, how long do we have to watch this offense struggle?
Offense is struggling a little.
So ugly.
It's okay, though. Okay, look, Mahomes, he's not playing his best. I think we can all agree Mahomes is not playing the best football he's played in his career. At the same time, 30 for 40 tonight, 306 yards, a touchdown. He did throw a pick. He almost threw another one. He did go 94.4 QB rating, and he took 2 sacks, by the way. But he was pretty good. And by the way, how good was our defense? Our defense is nasty. They're nasty. We almost shut out Sean Payton for the first time in his entire career. Russell Wilson had 95 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and took 4 sacks.
The referees had to let them get some points on the board, right?
Hey, that was a bad penalty.
Cover that 10.5 point spread.
That was a horrible penalty on Mike Edwards.
They had to make sure that went the way it needed to go, right? I thought it was 10.5 point. What did it end up being? What was the score? They did.
It was 19-8.
Boy, they tried. If Butker wasn't kicking field goals from the other side of, Kansas over there, I think
Butker
could have been a bad night for the Chiefs.
He got that third leg working tonight. He had that power. Dude, you see him? The wind was swirling out there, and he just goes right through the wind, hitting the net from 50, from 60, from 85 yards.
Dude,
Butker's
that
going
60-yarder was good from 70, easy.
Right.
Maybe more.
Dude, I'm going to say this. I think we can all agree that the offense is just struggling a little bit. It really is. And to be honest, they kind of struggled across the board. Pacheco, 16 carries, 62 yards. Not the best showing from a team that lets up over 150 yards on the ground. Right. Usually if it's 150 yards on the ground, what are you doing? Defenses are stacking the box. They're playing a little cover 3. They're playing a little cover 1, playing man-to-man on the edges. We already learned that our wide receivers, we have 3 wide receivers in PFF ratings in the top 50 against man-to-man coverage. But tonight, we didn't see them beat a lot of man-to-man coverage. At least I didn't, unless Mahomes isn't throwing the ball. I didn't see it at first glance.
Well, the last video podcast we dropped on YouTube, Mike, what did we say? Rashee Rice is your guy.
Oh,
like that. Yeah. That's your wide receiver 1.
That's wide receiver 1.
I think he proved tonight they need to get the ball in his hands more often. When he had the ball, he was electric. He literally pretty much got robbed of 2 touchdowns by the same tryhard out there, tripping him up at the end. Cost me a lot of money, by the way. Thanks, tryhard guy.
A little bit of money tonight, didn't it?
No, but Rashee Rice is it, dude. I think he's the guy that we're looking for. I think he's the guy that Andy Reid, Matt Nagy have to get into this offense more often, get the ball in his hands. Because, dude, like I said, he's electric with the ball in his hands. How fast is he? I mean, you saw there was at least one play there where they just kind of threw it out in the flat to him, and he took off, dude. He's the man. He's it. I think they have to stick with it and roll with it and see what happens.
Rashee Rice needs to he just needs more snaps. Keep getting snaps. Keep letting him get on the same page as Mahomes. Keep everything just building with Rashee Rice. Like, build off of him. Disappointed that we didn't see Justin Ross at all tonight. I kind of thought Justin Ross would make an appearance. I thought on a team that's going to play man-to-man against you, I kind of thought Justin Ross would kind of be out there, and we'd see him maybe a few more of those jump balls. Ross was out there for maybe, I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to say, 4 or 5 snaps?
Well, we stalled in the red zone every time we were in it, except for that one drive. And he's the type of guy you want to have in a red zone package. Like, what's up? Why aren't we throwing the ball to him? Let him get up and get the ball, man. I don't get it.
Steve, put up a poll. I want to know. Our title says Chiefs fans frustrated after ugly win? ? So I want to know, are you guys frustrated with the team? Like, I know we're 5-1, but are you guys not frustrated with this offense compared to how good this defense is playing?
I think that's how we need to word it, right?
I feel like the offense is kind of wasting the defense a little bit. Like, we could be beating teams by 30 and 40 and just flat out dominating with a defense like this. So I want to know, is the ACU crew a little bit frustrated with the offense? Not the team, the offense, because it was another sloppy performance by the offense. And I'm not trying to be negative, not in the slightest. Mahomes had over 300 yards, but you can't play the worst team statistically across the board and put up 19
That's the
points
worst
and
team
have
in
a field goal
It's
contest.
the worst defense in football, Mike, and that's the first time Patrick Mahomes has ever faced the bottom-ranked defense, and he made them look like they were decent.
Steve, how many catches?
It's rough, bro.
How many catches? Do you want to take a guess? How many receptions were made by our wide receivers?
I would. Let's see. I'll say 8.
Justin Watson is our basically. We said Justin Watson could be up for number 1. There's a moth in here. I'm trying to kill it. Okay, Justin Watson, 0. He let that one go off his hands, his fingertips. We're checking to see. We don't know what his injury was. It looked like a wrist. Hopefully, that's not going to prove to be long term because Justin Watson.
It's a dislocated elbow.
Okay, so he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah,
That's just the way it works. And let's hope it don't turn into a Jody Fortson thing. But look.
Well, that was his shoulder, but
that's true.
Same concept.
Justin Watson had 0, Steve. MVS had 0. $11 million, 0. He had 1 target, 0. Kadarius Toney had 6 targets, 3 catches. Sky Moore, 4 targets, 2 catches. Rashee Rice, 4 targets, 4 catches. That's it. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it.
That's at 8. So I was
9 receptions by wide receivers, Steve.
I shorted them 1.
Look, we can't have that. Look, we just can't have it. Is it time to trade for a wide receiver? We've all been saying, look, we don't need to. Let them develop. And he's not letting nobody develop. Maybe Rashee Rice, but he's not letting Justin Ross. Like, we're not seeing Ross.
Well,
we're just not seeing it. You're not seeing Kadarius Toney really step up and make those big splash plays. I don't know if it's his confidence. I don't know if it's the scheme. Maybe he just can't do it. Sky Moore is not developing. Sky Moore stinks. You might as well put him on the sideline because they're not going to use him properly. Mahomes had him down on a design play at the goal line where he was one-on-one against the linebacker, Steve. And
Right.
he didn't even trust him enough to give him the throw to let him try to beat the linebacker. And then he doesn't even take the 2 yards to get the first down by scrambling, and he just throws something. Like, it's weird. But I don't feel like Mahomes trusts our wide receivers. I don't feel like anybody besides Rashee Rice is developing right now. And it's a little bit scary.
You think?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Now, my thing is, Mike, though, I want to go back. This will be a good game to go back and watch because, yeah, I'm pretty positive it's the receivers here. But did it look like to you Mahomes was gun shy? Like, he did not want to throw the ball tonight. He
Exactly.
was second guessing.
But why? Why does Mahomes look so different, Steve? Is it
even when I
because he
thought there
don't
were
have a
people
quality
open.
option to throw it to? Is that it?
If he did, do you think he'd still be doing the same thing? Because I feel like a little bit of it is on Mahomes.
But he'll launch it to Kelsey. He'll throw it to Kelsey all the time because he trusts him. He even tries to throw it to Kelsey so much he tried to loft one up in the end zone and almost got it picked. Or it did get picked, I think.
Well, I don't know, man. There's a couple passes where it was just, I don't know why he didn't throw it. Like, I don't know. I'd have to see it from a different perspective, you know.
Steve, Todd Tofrey in the chat says Mahomes is point shaving. It's got to the point that Mahomes is point shaving. Dude, we actually talked about that. He's played, like, when Mahomes is bad, he is so bad, you almost think he's tanking on purpose, like against the Bengals in the second half a few times, or, like, he looks that bad. And, guys, Mahomes needs a shrine built to him. He is one of the greatest to ever step on the football field, but we've said this over and over. When Mahomes is bad, Mahomes is pretty bad. And tonight, he was showing flashes, again, of trying to go back to that Jets Mahomes. He eventually got out of it. And he didn't force the ball and turn the ball over a lot. It's crazy that he's got over 300 yards, and we're still talking about how he's just not playing his best football.
I have a question, though. Have you seen good Mahomes this year yet?
No.
I don't think we've seen him at all 6 weeks into the season. That's a little scary.
Yeah. And again, is Mahomes regressing? You got 2 options. 3 options. You got 3 options. Is Mahomes regressing? That's option number 1, and I don't think that's true.
No.
Does Mahomes not have any liable targets? That one's could be it. Or 3, the play calling and the offensive genius that is Andy Reid, and then Matt Nagy to a certain degree has always been a very good offensive mind. They've got completely stale, and they can't come up with ideas anymore. Why did we go back on 3rd down to get away from Pacheco on short yardage and went back to all this fancy crap with Kadarius Toney tonight? Like, why do they do this?
Quite a few plays that were questionable tonight with Kadarius Toney. Why is he the gadget guy now? I don't understand. I thought he was more than that, but apparently he's the gadget guy. Here I was thinking Sky Moore might fall into that role, but I think they're just kind of weeding Sky Moore out of the offense. He had a couple decent catches tonight, but he wasn't out there as much as he has been. I don't think that was
Right.
at first look. But Kadarius Toney, every time they have him out there, man, it's some kind of weird, stupid play.
Right. T-Wash says, Mike, please give us a wide receiver one trade. Hey, me and this fellow over here in the yellow shirt, we were begging for a DeAndre Hopkins, and we were begging for some kind of a big target besides Kelsey on the outside. And everybody all offseason, I mean, there was a few select people that was like, yeah, that's a cool idea. A lot of people were saying, no, Mahomes can take the water boy. Mahomes can take the fat guy in the fourth row eating a hot dog for the 17th time and put him on the field and be a Pro Bowler. I think we're seeing that Mahomes needs some help. Mahomes cannot do this by himself, especially if teams are going to fall in the cover two shell and they're just going to make him dink and dunk all night. And Mahomes is that prideful guy that wants to win. He's going to start pressing, and this is what he's going to do.
Well, I will say this, man. Like, he has to give these receivers a chance, because we can sit here and talk about all night about how there's not a good enough receiver on this team to really step up. But at the same time, we're watching week after week after week to where they're not even getting chances, man. Like, first of all, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy had Justin Ross on the field a total of like 4 times tonight, I think. Could be less. So he's not getting any chance whatsoever. When Rashee Rice is out there, yeah, he made some really good plays tonight. They looked at him quite a bit, and Mahomes tends to look at him a good amount.
Right.
But there's times where I feel like he should be going to him more. It's like, if you're not giving these guys the chances to show out, I mean, what do you really expect them to do? They can't walk up to Mahomes and take the ball out of his hands.
Well, that's what I want to say. Like, that's what we need to be looking at. Obviously, like I said, a lot of people don't like PFF. A lot of people like to use PFF when it makes their argument for them, and maybe not so much when it don't make their argument. But PFF says against man coverage, we have 3 guys in the top 50.
Right.
But and see, like T-Wash says, they're not getting open.
Okay,
Are
hold
they
on,
or are they
hold on.
not? Because PFF's saying they are.
How much separation do you need in the NFL to get a look?
That's
Because
true.
you're not getting a big bunch of separation in the NFL. It's just not happening. In the NFL, your quarterback has to throw you open, put the ball in the right spot, and you have to be smart about where you're getting, especially into a zone defense. There's a lot that goes into that. So, yeah, you can look at the overall play and be like, oh, no one was open. What do you consider an open? You know, I mean, you can have a guy on your hip, but if Mahomes puts the ball where it needs to be,
well, look,
you
the
got
NFL
to give you a shot, you know?
Dude, the NFL has great athletes. They've got linebackers that can run step for step. They've got defensive ends. We showed a picture of, or we showed film of Josh Allen running with Sky Moore step for step. A defensive end, just running down the field with them. That's what you're going to get in the NFL nowadays. Those guys get paid big money. They are great athletes. And I tell you what, Mahomes cannot just wait for a guy. He can't always be waiting for blown coverage. He can't always be waiting for somebody to sit in a zone with 5 people, 5 yards of separation. Like, Mahomes is finally going to have to trust the receiver and be like, look, he might be on your hip, but I'm going to put it out in front of you, and you're going to have to go make a jump ball play.
Right.
He trusts that with Justin Watson to a certain degree. We've seen it. We've seen it against Minnesota twice. You've seen it tonight. He took a deep shot with Justin Watson.
Yeah.
Justin Watson probably should have caught that ball. And I know a lot of people, look, Tyler in the chat says, well, we're 5-1 and we only lost by 1 point. Nobody's saying that the Chiefs, you know what I mean?
No.
People mistake constructive criticism for complaining.
Late. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not complaining. It's
miss the part. People miss the part where we're like, hey, it's freaking awesome. We're 5-1. There's nothing to really complain about. But the offense looks kind of stagnant and crappy.
I think it's fine to say the offense looks stagnant.
That's a talk. Well, it's true.
Right.
Like, if you think that they look okay right now, then you're living in a fantasy land. And it's okay to not live in a fantasy land and talk about these kind of things. It doesn't mean that you're negative or that you hate the team or blah, blah, blah. We're mad that they're 5-1. That's crazy. But yeah, the offense stinks. The O-line, they look like they do a pretty decent job of giving Mahomes time, but he's just not getting the ball out. Granted, it could be like T-Wash. He says the receivers just are not getting open. And after we explained that, sometimes Mahomes has to throw the ball and let them, get them open or give them a shot at a 50-50 ball, he still is not grasping that concept. But that's just part of it in the NFL, man. I mean, the only person that's open most of the time is Travis Kelce. And that's just because he knows where to go. He knows
Travis Kelce eats a zone for breakfast. We've already seen we had one receiver in the top, two receivers in the top 200 or in the top 100 against zone. One of them was Justin Watson, rated like a 60, and he was like number 98. But by the way, Sky Moore was number 2 in all of NFL so far through 5 games. It wasn't counting this one against the zone. He was rated like a 90. Look, tonight, Denver did not play what Denver usually does. I feel like Denver sit down in the zone a lot. And look, they didn't play man-to-man a lot. They sat down in the zone because they know that wide receivers can't beat the zone here. And who showed out? Who showed out? Travis Kelce eats the zone. Rashee Rice eats the zone. Everybody else, zippity-doo-dah. Again, so now Mahomes is going to have to figure out how do you beat a zone, because we're going to see this every week.
So, I mean, once you break it all down, is that the problem that we're looking at here? Is that what's been going on for 6 weeks
Chiefs need
now?
to go get a wide receiver that can be a zone buster. We don't have a guy that knows how to read a zone and bust a zone. I guess MVS can't do it because MVS is not even getting targets, which leads me to believe that Mahomes, he's just not getting open.
Is there anyone off the top of your head? I know this is a pretty niche down question here, but is there anybody that would, people might be looking to get rid of or trade away from their team that you think is a good zone buster like that?
That's a good question, man. Look, let's just continue to talk to the people, bring up some different topics. Let me go look at a few people that are good versus the zone really quick. And I'll just bring this up really quick, and I'll take a scan through them, and I'll give you some good guys against the zone, and then we will see if any of them could possibly be a trade target. How about that?
Right.
So give me 1 second.
The only people I know that they've been talking about trading is, first of all, I think T. Higgins is somebody that could be traded possibly, just because they're not going to be able to re-sign him. If they think they can get something out of him. Are they going to deal with the Chiefs? No. Absolutely not. Don't see that happening. Same with the Broncos and Jerry Jeudy. They would never trade him to the Chiefs. Just not going to happen.
Right.
First of all, I don't even know if you want Jerry Jeudy. He seems to be a little off in the head. I'll be quite honest about it.
He's a little crazy, right? He's got a little crazy to him.
But he's a very good receiver, and I've said before that I think Jerry Jeudy in a Chiefs offense would be nasty. But he seems a little out there to me. I mean, the only people that I can think of off the top of my head, there's one, and that's Juju. But do you backtrack? Do you get a receiver? Because we don't like doing that anyway. I'm not a fan of going and getting McCole Hardman. I'm not a fan of going and getting Frank Clark back or anybody that just because we love them.
Right. You know what's kind of weird? Who was a wide receiver in the first round that I absolutely just flat out adored? And we thought the Chiefs were going to make a play at him, and they didn't do it.
This year?
Yeah. We thought the Chiefs were going to make a play on him, and everybody said, oh, he's kind of more the same. Zay Flowers. He is a zone buster. Yeah. Against the zone, he's got 25 receptions for 271 yards with a target rate of 23%, by the way. He leads the entire league in PPR points on that. So that would have been a great draft pick right there in the first round. And then again, they wasn't going to double up. You're not going him and then turn around and getting Rashee Rice. And Rashee Rice is beating the zone too. So I will say not a big deal there. So far, I'm looking around versus the zone. Stephon Diggs is really good against the zone, but Buffalo's not going to trade Stephon Diggs inter-division to the Chiefs. They're not doing it because we are their, you know what I mean? Like, we're their nemesis, along with like the Bengals, who've kind of crapped themselves out. I'll say this: Adam Thielen has been really good against the zone this year. He's got 24 receptions, and he was a wide receiver target. And everybody, we thought that was a decent fit here for Mahomes, a reliable guy like Thielen. And everybody said he's too old. Oh, well, he's run 157 routes against the zone this year, and he's got a target rate of 18%.
I was just talking about Juju. He's got a bum knee, and he's still more effective in his zone than any receiver we have by far.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it comes with experience, too. A lot of that comes with experience, and we have a lot of inexperienced receivers.
Right. Well, people like last week wanted Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool was not good. No. Against man, Chase Claypool had 0 receptions off 18 routes. And against zone, he runs 72 routes against zone and only had 4 receptions. Chase Claypool was the exact receiver we have now. So I'm so glad that Brett Veach didn't listen to all the armchair quarterbacks and go after Chase Claypool. That would have been a disaster.
Well, I mean, you kind of knew Chase Claypool, wasn't it? It's just kind of obvious.
Hey, T. Higgins doesn't do well versus the zone either, by the way.
Was he not?
103 routes ran and only 7 receptions.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, even like somebody like T. Higgins, a lot of people like the idea of T. Higgins and Kansas City, but I mean, really, he's that guy that's going to be able to pull the 50-50 balls for you. And Mahomes don't throw those. He just don't do it very often.
Another trade target we had come up with in the offseason, Steve, Elijah Moore was going to save him from the Jets. 100 routes, 11 receptions on zone, by the way. So pretty good there from him. I don't think they're going to get rid of Elijah Moore. So I don't think that's a big deal there with Cleveland. They're not going to do that. So he's kind of out. And so far, I'm just not seeing a lot. CD Lamb's good against it, but Dallas ain't giving up CD Lamb.
No. Hey, they've talked about but like
Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy both are good against the zone.
We're not getting none of them.
Right. Sutton's got 17 targets, 17 receptions. Judy's got 13.
Well,
so
here's
they're
my
both good
thing,
against
Mike.
the zone.
We got one receiver is good against the zone, even though he is the young guy. A little bit inexperienced, right? He's a rookie.
Yeah.
But he's pretty decent against the zone. You also know that he's explosive with the ball in his hands. Then you got Kelsey, who absolutely eats the zone. And then you got guys like MVS, Sky Moore. They're all like 4'4", 40 guys. They can stretch the field a little bit. I think does the question come back to, do we have to stop with let's spread the ball around to 85 receivers a game to keep the other team guessing? And do we just put the guys out on the field that could be effective and make it work? Like that's my thing. Like, is this on the coaching? Is this on like how they're using these receivers?
Yeah, I think it's the play design, it's the scheme, it's everything else. I'm starting to think, look, I don't want to just go out on a limb and say, look, we can blame one guy. Like, you can't, like, I don't think Eric Bieniemy was totally to blame for the struggles we had last year. He may have been totally to blame for some of the locker room stuff, but anything on the field, I don't think it was Bieniemy.
No.
I don't think Andy Reid's all to blame either. Andy Reid's a mastermind at this. And I don't believe Nagy's a lot to blame either. Like, I just don't believe Nagy come in and it's just over with, because he's not overriding Andy. Right. But do you start thinking that maybe Nagy and what he's instilling into Mahomes and how they're wanting him to start reading certain things, do you think that's starting to play out? Like, do you think maybe he's trying to get Mahomes to go back to doing something like he was doing in his first few years with Nagy, and Mahomes had kind of got himself out of that and progressed into a better quarterback, and now he's trying to get him back to it maybe? Or just something weird?
I don't know about all that. I don't know, man. Honestly, I think it's a couple of different things. Mainly, like, what it really boils down to for me is I think we have a lot of inexperienced guys. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, all those guys have played very limited football in the NFL, right? Justin Ross. You got MVS, who I think is just not that guy. I think he's a little overpaid. I don't think he's ever going to be that type of guy for you. Justin Watson, we've said it a million times. I'll say it again. He's a pretty mid-tier receiver. He will make some plays for you. We've seen that last week, but I think it's a combination of that. It's a combination of how they're being used, and then I think a little bit does fall back on Mahomes, because let's be honest, Mahomes hasn't looked himself this season yet, and I think he has to take some ownership in it as well.
Right? Do you want to hear something crazy? By the way, I'm looking at the Chiefs receivers versus man versus zone, because we're talking about that. The Chiefs do not go up against man-to-man very often. Their highest receiver is Sky Moore. He's ran 35 routes against the zone compared to 92 zone, or 35 routes man-to-man compared to 92 against the zone. Marquez Valdes-Scantling has ran 114 routes against the zone and only 34 routes on man-to-man. So look, people are matching up and they're playing a zone. They're forcing Mahomes to beat them with a zone, and our receivers can't get open with a zone. By the way, it says the Broncos have played man and zone coverages at league average, and the Broncos ranked before today bottom 5 in coverage in man and zone. In zone coverage, they only ranked 43.7, but today they held our receivers to 9 catches. And they ranked a league worst 43.7. That's how bad. Our leading guy against the zone is Rashee Rice with 16 catches, and then Kadarius Toney with 11 receptions. And by the way, on those 11 receptions, only 52 yards. So he's not even getting any yards off of it. Those are like swing passes and dunk downs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so nobody is getting open against the zone. That might be 100% the problem. Now, I will say, going back to everything we just talked about, there's one guy that we've spoke about. There's one guy that's coming up in a contract year, and you may be able to get him if he's on the table and he plays in Indianapolis and he's a zone buster. Michael Pittman Jr. That might be if I was Brett Veach, that would be the guy I start kicking the
We've
tires
talked
on
about
right
that
here.
before. We've talked about that before. I think it'd be a good fit. Then again, he's just the type of player that Mahomes don't like to throw the ball to very much.
But he beats the zone. But he beats the zone.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe. So maybe that would be a good target. Are there times that it looks like to you, Mike, that these receivers are open early in the play? Looks like maybe they're running short routes, whatever. Mahomes has, the 3-yard pass, 4-yard pass, whatever it is, and let them create after, but he refuses to throw the ball and then waits for the play to develop. He holds onto the ball too long. Then no one's open. Then he chucks the ball away. I see that over and over again. Is that just a misconception? Or do you think that Mahomes is pressing still? Is he not taking what's given to him and letting these receivers get yards after the catch? Is he waiting for something bigger all the time? And I still see that sometimes.
Right. I still feel like maybe he does press. There was a few times like on that Sky Moore pass where he should have went to Sky Moore on the first read. It was designed to go to Sky Moore in the flat at the goal line and let Sky Moore had a one-on-one matchup. Mahomes didn't throw the ball because he seen the linebacker coming down. He thought the linebacker was he just assumed he was going to light Sky up. And he may have well done it. But the point is, if you're not going to use Sky Moore on a designed in space, to beat a guy one-on-one, why do you have Sky Moore out there? By the way, Tristan asked, Mike, do you like Sky Moore? I like him as a human. I like him as a football player to a certain degree. I don't like the way the Chiefs are using him. To be honest. And I don't know if he's going to have his breakout here in Kansas City because it feels like to me he's kind of sliding into McCole Hardman row. And to be honest, they're kind of doing this with Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney's starting to look like McCole Hardman, like just the gadget guy that they just want to like run around all the time. And it's like, why are we doing this?
Chief KT, we would never bash Mahomes. Let's just put that out there right now. Mahomes the best quarterback to maybe ever do it. We know that. But it's okay to talk about when he's not playing well. Like if he's not playing well, he's not playing well. And I think this year he's playing good enough, but we haven't seen like that top tier Mahomes that we're used to seeing, right? He's pressing a little.
Maybe his mobility's a little limited, by the way. I mean, he's been dealing with ankle all off season, and I feel like every team's got an ankle target on him.
Yeah,
so who knows? Somebody asked in the chat, by the way, they asked why he keeps running on third down. The receivers ain't getting open, I guess. He ain't,
Yeah.
I'm also not seeing dude. I thought we were going to get through 2 games, by the way, without a Jawan Taylor flag, and we didn't get through it. Jawan Taylor got caught for a holding penalty. Is Jawan Taylor worth the $80 million upgrade?
That's the thing.
That's a legit question.
I think overall Taylor's played pretty well. He's been picked on a bit, and there are times where he gets a bad penalty or something like that, but that's just going to happen. That's part of the game. He also missed a block tonight, just took the wrong assignment there, got Mahomes sacked. That kind of stuff's going to happen. I'll let it slide every once in a while. Because
but I'll say this, we didn't know the protection call out, though.
Right.
What if he got that right and Mahomes missed a protection call, or maybe the running back missed a protection call?
Yeah, I know. There's a million different ways you can look at it. But I think overall he's played pretty good. But I'm with you. Is he worth the $80 million? Would it have been, like you mentioned during the game, like you asked me, you were like, do you think it would have been smarter for the Chiefs to pay Andrew Wiley the $20 million that he got over 3 years or whatever with Washington and have like a decent right tackle instead of a top tier per se, like Jawan Taylor, and use that money to get a DeAndre Hopkins? Like, would that have been a better combination when it was all said and done?
Right.
I don't know. That's a good question. And I guess you could take that both ways. Like, well, Mahomes has had forever and a day to pass the ball this year. I will say the offensive line has done their jobs protecting Patrick Mahomes. Most of the times when Patrick Mahomes is in trouble, it's because he's held onto the ball for too long. Whether that's his fault or the receivers are just not getting open, that's up for debate. That's going to take a lot of film studying to maybe try to figure out. But I don't know, man. I don't know what the right answer is there. But we have what we have, and I think we're 5-1 right now. So you have to be happy with that. The fact that the team is struggling on the offensive side of the ball, and we're still 5-1, we're finding ways to win. That tells you how good this team can be.
Right.
So that's like to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the positive spin on the offense looking like garbage right now is the fact that we're still 5-1. Our defense is amazing.
Right. Well, look, okay, I asked you that question, and I know collectively Chiefs Kingdom's heads are exploding. You're not allowed to ask if this was an upgrade. For some reason, Andrew Wiley and Orlando Brown Jr. was looked at as the worst possible tackle combination in the history of the game. But look, Andrew Wiley, like you said, he signed, 3 years, like 20-ish, something like that, or whatever. And then Jawan Taylor's somewhere around 60, but it's up to 80. So just in comparison here, Andrew Wiley has an overall, so he's got an overall pass blocking grade of a 63.3. And Jawan Taylor's overall pass blocking grade's a 58. So Andrew Wiley actually grades out 5 points higher. Jawan Taylor's running grade is a 46. Andrew Wiley's is a 65. Almost 20 points
PFF
higher.
grades, though?
This is PFF grades.
Take them with a grain of salt. Is there a way to look at like pass rush win rate or something like that, like an actual stat?
I'm going to look at, look, again, nobody likes PFF when PFF doesn't work out for you.
Right, but they
But if
are a
it's
little
to
hit or
prove a
miss,
point-
let's be honest.
But I'm just saying it's a metric to grade. So really, what can you grade then? You say, pressures? Is that what you want to look at? Like, would that be fine?
Like a pass rush win, like a I don't know, pass block win rate, something like that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Hey, I'm with Doug here. What's up, Doug? Good to see you, buddy. He says we won. We did okay. I mean, that's the one way to look at it, right? Like I said, we're 5-1. You have to be happy about that. You have to be excited about it. And it's kind of uplifting to know that this team is far from top notch. Like they've not reached their ceiling at all. And we are 5-1, could be 6-0 if Kadarius Toney didn't drop a ball straight into the hands of the Detroit Lions. So I mean, I'm in a good mood after this game. But yeah, it's definitely a talking point to talk about this offense right now. Because if there's anything that looks off with this team right now, we all know the defense is playing well. Just end of story. The offense, they're getting carried. The offense is getting carried right now, straight up. If you can only put up 19 points on the Denver Broncos, who are the worst defense in the entire league, the Miami Dolphins dropped 70 on these people. They hung 70 on this team.
That's crazy, dude.
We put up, one touchdown? One
crazy.
touchdown. That's sad.
Is Miami's offense that
sad.
much better than us?
At this moment, you have
That
to
they can
say
put up
yes.
70?
Overall, when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and then Andy Reid, it's the Chiefs offense. They're going to get it worked out. They're going to be good. They're always the best offense. But right now, at this very moment, the firepower on the Dolphins, along with Mike McDaniel, you could definitely say that they're a little better offense than we are at this moment. I don't know if they are overall, like in the big picture, especially with Devon Achane on the hour now. So there's one weapon. I don't know. I'm not scared of any team though, because our defense is so good. Like, I feel like if our offense just halfway gets it together, like this team's going to be pretty brutal, bro.
Right. Your question about the win rates, the only thing I can find is ESPN win rates, and it only goes to top 20. So against the pass rush, a pass block win rate, Jawan Taylor's number 19 overall.
Man, that's a far cry from where he was a couple weeks ago. He was like number 1 in the league.
He's at 91% right now. He's at number 19. In run block win rate, he's not in the top 20. But I'll say this: Andrew Wiley's not in the top 20 on either. But the fact is like, look. So Andrew Wiley, for example, and this is where everybody don't like Wiley. Wiley's give up 4 sacks this year, and I don't think Jawan Taylor's given up 2. Like, give up one tonight, but yeah, I mean, you can debate that to the end of time. But the point is, the conversation was, was it justifiable worth $60 million?
Right.
When you could have used $60 million to maybe sign a wide receiver 1. Maybe you sign a wide receiver 2 option. That's better. Maybe you could have kept McCole Hardman at a little bit better price. Maybe you could have kept Juju, even though he's got the knee thing, whatever. But I'm just trying to say, like, it's just a hypothetical conversation. Everybody gets crazy with it.
Well, that's the reason why we talk about things like this. Like, the offense is struggling. That's obvious. Everybody knows that. It's not a big secret. Hell, if you look at the poll he's put up, 78% out of 172 people are frustrated with how bad the offense has been. And, we talk about a lot of different things. People throw out as the offensive coordinator. We talk about the receivers not getting open. We don't have a top tier receiver. Our receivers are not good against the zone defense. We can keep going and going and going, but I will say this. And once again, I will preface this. My disclaimer is that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL by a long shot. It's not a question. Possibly the best to ever step on the football field.
Yeah.
But I seriously think right now he is a part of the problem with how he's performing at the moment. And I think if Patrick Mahomes could like settle in this season and start taking some of his checkdowns and stop pressing, stop holding on to the ball for 5 or 6 seconds, I do think that things could start to fall into place. And I'm not saying like it's going to make the receivers any better than they are. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like, we got what we got. But I do think that if he stops pressing and just taking what the defense gives us, you can work. That's what he's always done, Mike, with these mid receivers.
Here's what I think about the receivers. I'm still not ready to give up on them. This sounds crazy, but I'm not ready to give up on them. If the Chiefs could pull off, okay, look, if Brett Veach tomorrow calls up Indianapolis and pulls in Michael Pittman Jr., I will be ecstatic. But the trade deadline comes and goes and nothing happens, I still think by the end of the season, our receivers are going to be serviceable enough to win games. We're winning games now. But the problem is it's just making Mahomes look a little bit more. It's making Mahomes, like, look, Mahomes is usually here and the rest of the NFL's down here. And the wide receiver gap this year, and because of our inexperience and because of them not being able to beat zone and different things like that, maybe some of the play scheme, who knows, but it's causing the gap to shrink a little bit. Look, close your eyes for just 1 second and think about if you've never watched football before. So you're an alien that comes down to Earth and you land on Earth and somebody says, dude, you should watch football. It's awesome. Like, there's a guy named Patrick Mahomes. He's the greatest football player ever. But you've never seen him play for his whole year. And then you sit down and you watch him play against the Jets, or you watch that game tonight a little bit, and you're like, that's the guy that you think's head and shoulders.
This guy? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, Patrick Mahomes is just starting to look a little more human. And again, his human is, I'm taking that over everybody in the league. But the point is like,
sure,
we're kind of dampening Mahomes a little bit here because he just don't have the weapons, man.
This is it right here, what Chuck's saying. And I honestly think that's a big part of it. Like I said, not 100%. I still think we got a receiver problem. Somebody's got to step up and do better. End of story. We got to do better against the zone and things like that. But I do think a big part of our offensive struggles is that Pat Mahomes, it's not in his DNA to take a check down.
No, Pat wants to score, baby.
He's going to hold on to the ball, and he's going to try to he's going for the jugular every play.
This is where I'll give people that say this could be Nagy's fault. I think Bieniemy was the guy that was like, Pat, you got to do what I say. You got to put the play. You got to take the play. But Nagy is a Mahomes. They're like this. So Nagy's probably like, come on, buddy. We know you can make that play. Go make it. Go do it. Go do it. And maybe Nagy's in his ear like, let's do this. Maybe Nagy's feeding into it a little bit.
A lot of different things to it. Like, he did take some check downs tonight. You can't say you don't take a check down.
Right.
That's not it, because he did check down quite a few times tonight. But the thing is, like, sometimes you got to do it more than you want to.
Right. Kevin says, Mike, Steve, do you think Big Red called the game he did tonight because of the short week? That's a very good possibility. Maybe they didn't have a lot to put in. And again, we're going to play the Chargers next week, and then we're right back to the Broncos. So maybe he wanted to run vanilla this time because it was a short week. And like I said, the cream will rise to the top on a short week because you don't have a lot of time to game plan. So maybe Andy's like, look, we'll keep it as vanilla as we can. We're going to win because we're just better across the board. Like, there's no doubt. It may be close. It may be uncomfortable, but we're going to get it done with just enough. And then in 2 weeks, they don't have all this on film, and we're going to come back and we're going to show more. And maybe that's what they do, and that's what I'm going to say. Tristan asked, Mike, what do you think of Charles Omenihu coming back next weekend? Tristan, that's a great question. I think that makes our defense go from here to here. Dude, but George
and for those
Karlaftis,
of you listening and not watching, he meant from down low to up high.
Yeah, low to high, baby. I did not mean that in a negative way. But I'll say this. George Karlaftis played a good game tonight. After he was, the whole groin, we had the groin injury, the suspected groin, the George groin, the double G. He looked pretty good. I thought Karlaftis was awesome. Again, he just couldn't close the gap a few times. I don't think he's ever going to do it. We're going to have to get those arms. We need to get him to a chiropractor. Let him pop those bones, maybe extend that arm a little bit or something.
Stretch him out a little bit.
But look, he played good tonight. I thought Malik Herring played good tonight. Chris Jones had a pretty good game.
Remember, George was playing with a bad hammy too, and still played.
That's what I'm saying. He still played a good game. Did you see Felix tonight? I didn't see Felix at all.
I didn't see much of Felix at all.
Where's Felix?
Malik Herring make a play.
Malik Herring looked okay. Mike Dana looked pretty good again.
Mike Dana's a beast.
Where's Felix? Again, everybody's like, Mike, you're too hard on Felix. Felix is not even playing right now.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. It's kind of a Justin Ross situation now, isn't it? You can't be effective if you're not on the field.
Are we ever going to see B.J. Thompson, by the way? We were talking about that today. Look, Chamari Connor played a few snaps today.
What about Keandre Coburn?
Yeah, where's Keandre Coburn?
He's a ghost, bro.
All these guys, we thought that were going to be contributors, like Keandre Coburn up the middle. Now, don't take nothing away from Derek Noddy. He's had a good year this year. Mm-hmm. There was people saying Derek Noddy could get cut in camp because of Coburn. Boy, did that not happen.
We thought he could be a surprise cut.
We thought it could have been, and that didn't work. But look, Coburn's not getting any play. He's not even making the active roster. Then you've got B.J. Thompson, he's not even sniffed it, which we knew he was going to have to develop. But look, we thought Chamari Connor was somebody they drafted to be able to come in and maybe push Snead a little bit in case they want to get rid of Snead. Or, to be honest, Snead's out playing his contract. Like, we're probably not going to be able to pay Snead. Everybody's like, he may take a hometown discount. Dude, this is his first ever contract. Go get the bag. He ain't taking a hometown discount.
Yeah.
And by the way, he ain't from Kansas City, guys. He's from Louisiana. He ain't taking a hometown discount
leave a
here.
Comment that said that the other day. Like,
I seen that in the comments. I was thinking he was from Louisiana, but they confirmed it for me. Appreciate whoever commented that. But yeah, I think Omenihu coming back, Steve, is going to be an even bigger thing for our defense. Mm-hmm. And our defensive lines actually look like a strong point this year.
Our defense,
crazily,
is a beast. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, I'm excited with it.
Spags has this defense looking great for as young as they are. There's a lot of new pieces. They're still looking good this early in the season. We all know Spags defenses get better the deeper it gets into the year. And another thing is, like, we're talking about the offense being a little frustrating right now, a little stagnant. They do this every freaking year starting out, it seems like. I feel like the first few games, and there's lots of different theories. You always have the conspiracy theory of Andy Reid's playing his cards close to his chest. He's not showing it.
Yeah,
people always say that. Do I believe that? No, not all the way. Maybe in some cases. I think maybe he's more conservative with certain players early in the year, to extend like their season. You know what I'm saying? As far as like injuries and wear and tear and things like that. But I don't know. It's not like he has like a whole playbook of annexation of Puerto Ricos that he's not putting out there.
Dude, he was running it tonight.
Well, that's my thing. I was getting ready to get to that too. What about, there was at least
4 trick plays?
At least. It might have been 6. Like, this stuff's got to stop. I'm okay with it a little bit because that's Andy Reid's MO, right? Like, it wouldn't be the same if Andy Reid didn't pull something out of his butt every once in a while.
They missed their opportunity tonight, though. Tonight was the perfect time because Quinn Miners cried about them running the frickin' ring around the rosy play. Why didn't they pull that out tonight?
They should have. Dude, I'll tell you what I did like about one of those plays. Kadarius Toney, when Clyde, it wasn't a very good exchange from Clyde to him, and he kind of pulled out. This dude tried to thread a ball between double coverage. He had no F's forgiven by Kadarius Toney. And Kadarius Toney was left-handed, by the way. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought he was too.
Dude, he throws.
Hey, Kadarius Toney
through, baby. He didn't care.
Kadarius Toney was trying to throw that wide receiver open like we said Mahomes should do.
It wasn't the most terrible pass I've ever seen. I'll be honest, and he literally tried to squeeze that in there. That was hilarious.
He said
the fake field goal sucked, by the way. Okay, so
yeah.
for sure. It was
Yeah.
4th and 2. You're looking at almost 2.5 yards. You're trying to sneak 2.5 yards. You won't even do a sneak on a 1 yard. But we're I don't know.
We tried. It was almost looked like we were trying to do the butt push, the Eagles play. And to be honest, the funny thing was Tommy Townsend was pushing, right? He was pushing little bitty bone Tommy Townsend.
Right, and he's injured.
And by the way, Tommy Townsend actually pushed himself over the top of the pile and he would have got the first down.
Helmet got ripped off.
That's funny, dude. Hey, I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Hey, Tony, what's up, brother? He says, I love how we play like crap, yet we still win, then shift to a whole different gear in the postseason. That's true. And like, we've seen it almost every year. Like we'll struggle, and then we'll start looking a little better to postseason. There's a couple of things that go with that, though. You have noticed, in a couple of postseason games, we start looking like crap again. Like it rears its ugly head at the wrong time. Like in the Bengals matchup in the AFC Championship game. In the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. So that's always a little scary. And another thing is usually, like I said earlier, the offense will be a little stagnant early on, and we'll be a little frustrated with the offense early in the season. We always are while they're still trying to put things together. But usually you get flashes of the really good high-powered offense. I think I've seen one drive this year that really impressed me. And it was, I want to say it was in game 1 against the Lions.
Yeah.
Or it might have been against the Jags. I can't remember for sure. But we literally took the ball up the field, like literally in like the matter of 30, 45 game seconds, scored a touchdown. Like the Chiefs can. Like this is that offense that we like to see. The quick strike, just brutal offense. We've seen it one drive this year.
Do you think the guys, like the play calling, even maybe the guys on the field, maybe Mahomes, you think they're kind of in their head a little bit, kind of like a golfer that shanks a few times and then you just start thinking about it? You think they press and they're just thinking about it and they can't get it out? I don't know. Larry's in here. Larry Robinson. Appreciate you being here, Larry. He says, open up the playbook. I effing hate the West Coast playbook. Dude, that's true. But if you look back, look, Andy Reid runs that West Coast style.
Yeah.
So we had Alex Smith, and Alex Smith come in. He done great things for the Chiefs. He righted the ship, and boy, he had a good percentage on the deep ball, but he wouldn't take it. He dinked and dunked to the point where our pops hated Alex Smith. Like, I wasn't a huge fan either. Like, he annoyed me, and that's why we wanted Mahomes.
He annoyed me, but I love him.
And then, look, Mahomes come in, and Mahomes took the West Coast offense and then put the gunslinger attitude behind it. It was like Alex Smith, Brett Favre all of a sudden. And then he took the West Coast offense to another level. And now it's almost like it's coming back down. Like, kind of like when we said with Justin Fields. Are they coaching Justin Fields? Are they coaching the Justin Fields out of him? Are they coaching the dog out of him? Is Mahomes been coached so much to dink and dunk that it's just taking it out of him? Like, are we taking something out of him? I'm just trying to come up with something.
I think that's the problem. I think that they have trouble getting Mahomes to calm down a little bit and not press. I think that's the big issue.
So is it Nagy then? Is Nagy the one saying, "Look, buddy, we don't have to calm down. Let's press."
That's a possibility. I will say that.
I don't think it's by his play calling. I just think Nagy's like, dude, I know you can do this.
I think Matt Nagy's the type of guy that will pump him up. And
he'll say, come on, F it, we're going deep.
Yeah. A lot of people are throwing out Matt Nagy's the issue. Just hold that thought. Just give him the whole season here, because I don't think Matt Nagy's a bad offensive coordinator. We've seen him back making Alex Smith look like a top-tier quarterback. We've seen the Chiefs winning a lot back then, and we never had a defense. Now we have a defense. Let's see if we can get it clicking together. I say be patient with the offense.
I do too.
But for the first time tonight, I'm going to throw a little plug out there. Appreciate you guys for being here. 358 in the live stream right now. Be sure to hit that like button for us if you haven't yet. Just take a second, hit that like button. Help us get out to more people. Also, just come up across the top. Join the ACU crew over on patreon.com/allchiefedup. $10 a month. And the reason why we started this Patreon, for you, those of you that don't know, YouTube randomly decided to demonetize our channel for no good reason. Apparently,
they're Broncos fans.
Yeah, I don't know. There was no reason for it. Pretty ridiculous, actually. But we started the Patreon because we have at least 3 months where we're going to be, trying to keep our heads above the water. Right. So if you want to support the channel, All Chiefed Up over on Patreon. Just go search it. It'd be $10 a month. You'll get 4 exclusive videos at least. That's the very bottom that you'll get a month. Those are about 45 minutes to an hour long video podcasts. And we'll also be doing some audio podcasts, throwing them on there, and some other little things here and there. So if you'd like to support the channel, since you can't super chat, you can't do anything like that, get on over to our Patreon and help us out that way, at least for the next few months till maybe we can get everything settled down with YouTube.
And if you like us enough, you want to rep some gear, you can always go to our store too, merch.allchiefedup.com. Go over there, do that. That all helps us too. So yeah, we appreciate you guys for real. And before we go tonight, Steve, give me somebody that surprised you, and then I want to hear your MVP for the night, and then I'll give you my MVP.
All right. Someone that surprised me. It actually didn't surprise me, but I do think that Rashee Rice showed you why he needs to be in this offense more, showed you why he needs to get the ball in his hands more, showed you why Patrick Mahomes should trust him a little bit more. I think Rashee Rice made a claim that, hey, I'm the best wide receiver option you have. I might be a rookie, but hey, Andy, Pat, look at me. You have to. I'm dangerous. Get me the ball. I will say that. But I think the MVP of the game, Harrison Butker.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be. He put the most points on the board. He kicked a 60-yarder that would have been good from 70 in the strong winds. Like Harrison's clutch, man. He don't get enough love because he's a guy that he'll go crazy and miss some extra points from time to time. Everybody gets him down the road, but Harrison Butker's a warrior, and he's clutch, and he's always been there when we need him. So I'm going to show him some love tonight.
Right. Okay, that's a good one. I'm going to say, for me, not the MVP, but the person that surprised me tonight was, I thought Justin Reed stood out to me. I thought he may have played one of his best games with the Chiefs today. He had 6 tackles. 5 tackles, 4 solos. He had a sack. He had a tackle for a loss. He had a pass deflection. He had a QB hit, and he had a pick. Like, he was just flat out everywhere. I thought Chris Jones played well. Drew Tranquil had a sack. Both of them had a sack. I think Karlaftis and Malik Herring had a half sack, by the way. So we ended up with like 4 sacks. But I'm going to have to agree. I think it's weird, but I think you have to give player of the game to Butker because he deserved it. Because it was a windy night, man. Windy night, and he deserved it. He was 4 for 4. He had a 60-yarder. He hit his only extra point, so technically he was a perfect 5 for 5.
Another plus 50-yarder too, I think.
Yeah, he accounted for 13 points tonight. We wouldn't have won the game without Butker. But I'll say this: if you take Butker off there just because of that, I would give it to Justin Reed. I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought Bolton looked okay in his return. He missed a few tackles, but I still think Justin Reed was the guy on the defense. And I thought Kelsey was impressive too. Coming off of the ankle on a short week, 9 catches for 124 yards. He had a 40-yarder that he broke off.
Right.
I'll give him some credit. And even Rashee Rice, one more time, 4 receptions, 72 yards. And I thought Rashee Rice is starting to step up and take that number 1 role. And I don't think anybody can argue that right now. Like, he looks like a different beast.
Yeah, really good. Our boy Richie, he has a question. Good to see you, Rich. He says, do you think we'll right the ship by the bye week? That's a good question, man. I tell you what, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that we've been through 6 weeks of football right now. And we've seen what looks like to be a disheveled mess at times on the offensive side of the ball.
And but this is a long, long week. This is almost like having a second bye week to get right.
So go to our schedule. I want to know who we play up until the Dolphins right before the bye week.
It's Chargers,
and then
back
Denver
to Broncos. Yeah, and then it's the Dolphins on the bye, and then it's the bye, and then it's the Eagles.
Okay, so here's my thing. Rich, I want to say yes. I want to say they will get it. Maybe not 100% where they want it, but I think that you'll see a big progression from the first 6 weeks of football. And the reason why, Mike, if we've kind of pointed out, I think they're starting to figure a couple things out. It's not even they're starting to figure it out. I think the players are making it known. Like, they're figuring out for the coaches. Like, they're making it easy for the coach to look and be like, Rashee Rice is the most explosive wide receiver we have.
Right.
Like, there's no way that these coaches didn't see that tonight. And especially when they go back and look at the tape, they're going to be like, hey, this guy's for real. Obviously he wants to be, he wants it. He's doing the damn thing. Let's get him involved. Okay.
Right.
So I think that they're starting to figure out little things like that. And then I think Mahomes will settle. I know a lot of people thought I was bashing Mahomes earlier. I'm not bashing Mahomes. I never bash Mahomes. Even when he sucks, I love that man. But the thing is, he's got to settle in and not press and be patient. Quit holding on to the ball so damn long. If it's not there, it's not there. But I mean, I know it's hard to say that because Mahomes can kind of make something out of nothing sometimes.
Right.
But I just don't want him to do it to a fault to where he takes a hit that he doesn't have to take.
Right.
And that seems to be happening this year, and I'm not liking it.
Yeah. But overall, look, I think we're going to be fine. I still trust the wide receivers. I really wish they let Justin Ross play some more. Maybe he was in the doghouse a little bit. Maybe he was in the doghouse just a little bit from drops last week. Who knows? But look, let's get them going. Let's get the wide receivers on track. Hopefully the playbook starts to develop. Maybe this week we get a little bit more time to work on that, go through, kick it up a notch. We got to play a good game against the Chargers coming up because you know the Chargers always come and they're always firing on all cylinders against the Chiefs. They want to beat us so bad. So we need to have it stepped up before then, and I think we will. I'm keeping the faith in the offense, and I'm keeping the faith in the wide receivers. Our defense is starting to look like the freaking 85 Bears out there, baby. We're starting to be feared.
Dude,
okay, we got the Warden on the edge causing problems.
With here.
Yeah, we've got the smartest IQ'd Stanford alum holding down the back end now. Justin Reed's figuring it out. We got Chris Jones, Stone Cold Sackmaster in the house. He's back. He's ready to go. I think we're going to be fine. So with that being said, though, I just want to tell you guys, in the live stream, you guys are wanting us to live stream a game. That's probably never going to happen. No. We watch the game, and if we're on here and you think we're demonetized now, boy, it would be a disaster. So we're not going to do that, but we'll see. If we ever did do it, we would have to be monetized because we'd have to be paid for it. Otherwise, I'm not going to not watch the Chiefs with my entire heart and soul.
Y'all check this out. I got a story for you. We made the Patreon at your all's request. A lot of people wanted the Patreon, and they thought that'd be a good way to bide our time in the 3 months dealing with the YouTube crap up until January when we can reapply. So that's what we did. Got it made, posted it on the community tab. Hey guys, here's our Patreon. If you want to support the channel, go over there, become a member at patreon.com/allchiefedup. And there's a guy that actually had the nerve to be like, you want me to pay for you all to talk about football? He said that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. And my response, I couldn't just let it go. You know, that would have been the thing to do, right? But not us. Not us. Right.
Though, this was a guy that's never watched our stuff or commented or anything. We've never seen this guy before.
So my response was, so you know, I think it's more absurd that you expect us to work 30 to 40 hours a week on Chiefs content for you to watch for free. That's not a shot at anybody. Like, we don't expect anyone to donate to the channel or anything. Everybody does that because they want to. And we appreciate it, but we do not expect anyone, especially in today's economy, to dish out money. That's not what we're saying. But yeah, I was getting the point across to him. Come to find out, the guy had a shirt company. Like, he presses shirts and sells shirts. And I was like, how about you put all your shirts up on your site for free? And he said no. And just no. That was his response.
Wonder why. Hey, I can get shirts given to me. My neighbor's always trying to give me stuff. He's like, hey man, I'm cleaning up my closet. You want some t-shirts? I can always take them.
Right.
I mean, come on. People are crazy. But anyways, man, yeah, keep a lookout tomorrow. If you didn't get to watch this all, it's going to re-release tonight. It's going to re-release tomorrow. If you're listening, because this is, by the way, is going to be simulcast. You guys are going to hear this on Spotify or wherever you hear your podcast. Apple Podcast, anywhere. You can listen to that tomorrow. It's going to come out tomorrow. So if you're there, get over to Facebook, or not Facebook, get over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Come watch us over here. You can see our faces. If you're here, listen to us over there. Like, we're trying to build over on the podcast side of the world too. But by the way, we're almost to 15,000 subs. Our ACU crew members said that you guys need to get to 20K before the season's over. And again, YouTube decided they're just going to black market, they're going to blackball us, and they're going to take away our money. They're trying to make us quit right now. I don't know who they're working for, but it's obviously somebody. But I'll say this, they're not going to win. We're going to keep supporting the Chiefs. We're going to keep being a good channel with good content that you can come rely on, some good conversation, talk to people in the chat. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that bell. And yeah, we just appreciate you guys being here because this is a tough time, but we're all getting through it and it's going to be awesome. And we appreciate you, Steve.
And the Chiefs are 5-1. That one kind of sucks.
Right.
The 5-1. Hey, if before, at the beginning of the season, Mike, if I said, hey, after week 6, we'll be 5-1. We'll still be trying to figure some things out, but we'll be 5-1. Would you accept it?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
We said going into the bye week, we would take what, 2 wins? Anything over 2, we'd kind of be a little worried. So, I mean, we got a few games to go because you're still going to have to play Miami and you're still going to have to play the Chargers next week. And then I think the Broncos we should be beating. So, I mean, if you drop an egg, we could be at 3 losses, which could be a little bit concerning. But I think even at 3 losses, we can get through it. It's not.
I'll tell you what. I think, like Richie was asking, do you think they'll get it together before the bye week? I think they have to get it somewhat together in this long week for them to prepare for the Chargers, because the Chargers always come at our throat. They play their best football against us. It never fails. It will be a tough game. No doubt about it. So I think we have to get a few things right. I think we got to cross a few more T's and dot a few more I's this coming week to get another dub. But I think we can do it. I think the Chiefs are going to do it, and I'm excited. I think they'll have it together, at least coming off the bye week. So
yeah,
I think we can win out to the bye week. You never know. We'll see.
Yeah. I agree. A few things before we head out. Somebody asked if they could get the All Chiefed Up hats in the store. Yes, they are in the store. You can get them. It's merch.allchiefedup.com. You can grab that hat. Mac says he can support with likes and subs because his mortgage is high as an MF.
Buddy. We appreciate that too.
1,000%, Mac. Just watching the video every day, hitting that like button, sharing it with your friends, clicking the sub button, sharing it on Facebook, sharing it wherever. Just go tell your friends and be like, hey, go over here. Help these guys get to 20K. That's amazing. Andrew also says YouTube does this stuff to even famous people. He heard Theo Vaughn complain. Look, we love Theo Vaughn. We're trying to get Theo Vaughn on the show. I'm trying to go to Theo Vaughn's show. It would be crazy. And look, YouTube does do this to people, but you know what? We're always going to win. YouTube can be crazy all they want, but you know what? You're not doing nothing right unless you're on the radar of YouTube to come get you. So we must be doing something right, Steve. If they don't know us, they can't.
You can't make good content being scared of how you make content.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about it.
We're not bending
the knee. First of all,
guys,
just for full transparency here, what they demonetized us for was nothing we did. It was completely random. They said that we reuse other people's content. If me and Mike can talk to each other, make a video podcast, and somehow that's reusing someone else's content, then please explain that to me, and maybe you can explain that to the bots of YouTube. But yeah, it's just a flawed system. It's crap, and we get the shit end of the stick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Andrew, we do listen to Theo. We actually went and watched Theo in Louisville. I got the Return of the Rat King right here, baby. Signed by Theo Vaughn. Gang, gang, baby. We love Theo Vaughn. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up for the day. We appreciate you guys being here. Hit that sub button. Click that like on the way out. We appreciate you guys. Again, share us with everybody, Try to help us get to 20K. And the Chiefs are 5-1, baby. I'm not going to do that, though.
Do it. Come on. I sound stupid by myself.
This is probably going to get us demonetized, by the way.
Aside from my soul.